I heard the paramedic say her name before I even caught sight of her. But it was the expression on his face that made my stomach twist. A strange blend of sympathy, tension, and something he clearly wasn't prepared to explain to a husband standing in a hallway at 2:17 a.m. "Sir, your wife is stable," he told me. "But there's something you need to be aware of." Those words sent an icy ripple down my spine. I couldn't have known that the night ahead would dismantle everything I believed about loyalty, love, and the woman I'd spent 10 years building a life with. I had no idea that what waited behind that curtain would cut so deeply that weeks later, retelling it on my channel would feel like scraping open a wound with my fingertips. But let me bring you back to the moment when I still believed she loved only me. I had been asleep when the call from the hospital jolted me awake. The number lit up my phone in the darkness, casting that cold blue glare that always seems to signal bad news. "Is this Daniel Reyes?" a voice asked. "Yes," I said, my throat tightening. "This is St. George Medical. Your wife has been brought in." "My wife, what happened?" I asked, panic spiking. They wouldn't tell me anything over the phone. Just insisted I come immediately. I drove through empty streets, the world outside silent except for the pounding rhythm of my own heart. She had told me she was working late, that a sudden deadline had come up. I even messaged her around midnight to check in. She'd sent back a heart emoji, promising she'd be home late. I clung to that little flicker of reassurance, unaware how empty it truly was. When I reached the ER, the nurse at the desk gave me the same uneasy expression the paramedic would later echo. A look full of pity and reluctance, like I was both the last person who should face what she knew and the one who absolutely had to. "She's in room 6, the nurse whispered. "Someone's already with her." That phrase hit wrong. Someone, with my wife, at 2 in the morning. I pulled open the curtain and froze. She was lying on the bed, pale and exhausted. Sitting beside her was a man I'd never seen before. The second I stepped in, he jumped to his feet, guilt written across his face as clearly as if someone had spotlighted him. "My wife Emily," I managed to say. "Oh my God," she whispered. "Daniel, wait. Who is he?" My voice shook more than I wanted it to. Neither of them answered. The silence thickened, heavy enough to suffocate. Finally, the man spoke. I should go." "No," I snapped. "You're staying. Someone needs to explain why my wife is in a hospital bed with you sitting beside her." Emily covered her face with shaking hands. When she looked at me, her eyes were red, whether from pain, exhaustion, or guilt, I couldn't tell. Maybe all three. But I felt the truth pressing in on us. And I wasn't ready. Before she could say anything, the doctor walked in. He looked between us, instantly picking up on the tension. "Mr. Reyes," he said, turning to me, "your wife experienced a severe allergic reaction, serious enough to affect her breathing." I stared at him. "Allergic to what?" "She doesn't have allergies." There was a pause, one filled with weight. "She mentioned she recently discovered a sensitivity to latex. Symptoms started not long after," he trailed off, but I didn't need him to finish. Latex. The realization tore something inside me, slow and excruciating. The other man spoke softly. "I didn't know she was allergic." "She didn't either," I said, hollow. I stared at him. "So you two were." Emily broke down. "Daniel, I'm so sorry. I didn't think it would turn into this." "You didn't mean what?" I asked quietly. "Didn't mean to end up in the ER? Or didn't mean for me to find out?" The doctor slipped out, knowing the medical part was over, leaving the three of us drowning in a cold, metallic silence. "How long?" I asked. "Please. How long, Emily?" Her shoulders sagged. 5 months. The words hit like a blow to the chest. 5 months. 5 months of lies. 5 months of late nights, all sounding so normal. I let out a bitter, humorless laugh. "And now you're here because you had an allergic reaction while you were with him." She winced at how blunt I was. "It wasn't supposed to happen like this," she whispered. "I was lonely. You were distant. Work was stressful." And he listened. "Oh, so now it's my fault you cheated?" "I'm not saying that," she said quietly. "I wasn't thinking." I looked at the man. You married? He shook his head. No. And I didn't know she was, not at first. When I found out, I tried to stop. She said things were complicated. Emily covered her face again. I messed up. I messed up so badly. I wanted to scream, throw something, destroy anything in reach, but none of that came. Just a crushing weight inside my chest. You were with him, I said softly. And the hospital called me, your husband, to come help you. The irony cut deep. I was the one who rushed here. I was the one who cared. And she was the one who broke everything. She kept apologizing again and again, as if repeating the word might close a wound she'd carved open for months. But something in me had already snapped. I'm glad you're okay, I said quietly. Truly. But I'm done. Her tears spilled faster. Daniel, please. I can fix this, I can. No. You had 5 months to think about what you were doing. I didn't even get 5 seconds. The other man stared at the floor, drowning in guilt. But he didn't matter. He'd never made me any promises. She had. I'll bring your things tomorrow, I told her. Stay with him. Stay with anyone. I just can't stay with someone who destroys me and calls it an accident. As I turned away, she reached for me weakly. Daniel, don't go home alone tonight. I paused just long enough to answer. I've been alone for months. I just didn't realize it. Then I walked out of the ER. The doors slid open like the world was clearing space for a version of me I hadn't met yet, one who would never return to the man I was before tonight. If you're still listening, thank you. Sharing this then wasn't easy. It isn't now either. But someone out there needs to hear this. Heartbreak doesn't end you. Betrayal doesn't last forever. And if you want more stories, more truth, more real life, help me reach 2,000 subscribers. It means more than you know. Take care of your heart. Not everyone will.